ran away from home, and it was terrifying. Hi, my name is Catherine. It all started when the most popular girl in my class, Ellie, was having a party on Saturday night. Everyone was going, and I couldn't believe that I had been invited too. She lived in a huge house with a pool, and her parents had let her invite 200 people. I was nervous about telling my mom. This was the first party I had ever been to. And I knew she didn't like Ellie. She said that she thought that she was a bad influence. But I was 15. I could take care of myself. My mom and I have always argued a lot, as she will never back down from a decision. But I was going to this party. I told her about the party, and she refused. Nothing I said would change her mind, even me bursting into tears. Like I said, my mom will not budge when she has said no. A huge argument followed. I was screaming at my mom, and she was shouting back at me. I was so sick and frustrated of her trying to control my life and treating me like a little girl. I was angrier than I'd ever been. She was ruining my life. Without thinking, when she stopped at some traffic lights, I picked up my school bag, opened the door, and ran. When I was a few miles away, I started walking. I sat on a bench for a while, thinking. I hadn't really had any plans, so I wasn't sure what to do now. I decided I would stay away for the night. Then, by the morning, my mom would be so sorry that she'd let me go to the party. I already had 6 missed calls from my mom, but I didn't call back. She deserved it. It was much darker outside now, and a few drunk people shouted things at me from the bars as I walked past. I didn't feel comfortable anymore, as it was getting closer to midnight. The anger that I'd felt earlier was disappearing. I decided that maybe I would head home and just sit near my house, so I felt safe. But everywhere looked different in the dark, and I wasn't sure where things were. I'd been using my phone as a torch, but then the battery ran out. I was trying not to panic, trying not to think about what could be hiding in the shadows. An article that I had read recently popped into my head about a girl who had been abducted and murdered walking alone at night. Suddenly, I was terrified and started running. The street was deserted, apart from a parked car ahead of me. But as I got closer, I could see someone sat in the driver's seat, watching me. As I passed the car, they opened the door. I screamed and fled down the road, not knowing where I was going anymore. I tripped over something, scraping my hands and knees, but I got up and kept running, my heart pounding, whimpering in fear. I ran and ran, but then something grabbed my arm. I screamed again and writhed and kicked the person until I realized that it was my mom. She had been the person in the car, out looking for me. She took me inside and looked after me. We both cried. She told me I had worried her so much, and I could see in her eyes that I had. I had never seen my mom look like that before. She told me I could go to the party if it mattered that much to me, but I said I wasn't sure that I wanted to. All I wanted was to be with my mom. I felt so glad to be with her, but so ashamed that I had scared her. I had terrified myself that night, and I will never do something so reckless again. If you have any crazy stories, please share in the comments below. And if you liked the story, hit the like button and subscribe so you can see our future stories.